So far you've seen how to install a demo if you want to create a quick website. Right now I'm going to show you how to create from scratch, building your page section by section. And we're going to be using this guy as a template. We're going to be using this website as a template. So the first thing we are going to do is to create this menu. So they have a top bar, they have a logo, and then this links. All these are links that link to some pages. So for us to create a menu, we have to create some pages first. So let's go ahead and create a few pages. To create a page, go to your dashboard. Under pages, you can click add new. The first page you should be creating would be the home page, and probably the about page, and then the contact page. Those three pages should be sufficient for a start. Okay, now this is how it's going to look like. It's Gutenberg editor. Just add the title of your page here, and that's all you need for right now. But you can publish. But because we're using Ocean WP, we have a few extra things we can do. That Ocean Extra plugin we installed gave us this, and we need to do a few things here. The first is our layout. We want our layout to be 100% full width. That way we can have a website that goes that stretches 100% full width from left to right. So that's why we want to use 100% full width here. Margins, we're going to disable margins. What else? What else? Title, disable this. Filter. Let's publish for now. Okay, so let's create another page. This is all the pages available. We didn't create these two. They are usually default pages. So I'm going to go ahead and delete both of them by just selecting both. This is a privacy policy, like a template. You can leave it if you want. You can use it to work on your own privacy policy. But I'm going to be deleting it because I'm not collecting data from people on this website. So I'm going to check these two, go over here and move to trash, apply. Now I want to create two more pages, the home page and then the contact page. I could go over and start creating again, but there is a way I like to do this. There is a plugin that helps me to just easily duplicate a page. It duplicates the settings and whatever is in the page, you just duplicate it. All I have to do is just to rename it. So let's go and get that plugin. I think it is called duplicate page. Yeah, this is it. Used by more than 1 million people. Uh, oh, install. And activate. When we go back to our pages, and we hover over this, you see that we have a duplicate option. So let's just duplicate this. Now this is a draft. I'm just going to click on this quick edit, change the name to say about the slug. This is the link, your website.com slash, let's leave it as about. It's going to be slash about. The status is draft, so let's make it published, and then we update this. and then we need one more page to just to get started. You don't need to create so many pages to create a menu. I just want to create 3. Okay, so let me create the third one. I also did that by duplicating quick edit. Call this the contact page. Contact. Change the status to published. Update, and that's all. Now we have 3 pages. But if you come here and refresh your website, you are still not going to have any menu here. No menu. That's because menu don't apply automatically. You have to create them by going to appearances and then go into menus. Click on menus. There are different kinds of menus you can create. There's something called mega menu. You can also add links to menus and all of that stuff. But we're just going to create a simple menu. The first thing to do is to give it a name. Let's call it the main menu, or main, because it's going to be the main one. Then click the create menu button. Once we are done with that, we're going to add 1, 2, 3 pages, all of them. Add them to menu. Then we're going to reorder. If you don't reorder, contact is going to be the first, about is going to be the second, and home is going to be the third. But I want home to be the first link. Just drag and drop it there. I want contact to be the last. Just drag and drop it there. Now I can save this menu now, but it won't show here. Let me let it load first. It won't show up here if I go and refresh this. It doesn't show, and that is because though I have created a menu in Ocean WP, and you still have to tell, in fact in WordPress you still have to tell the menu where to appear. In this case we want it to be the main, right? So we click on this main and then click save again. Or you can do all of this from there. I just wanted to show you this. You don't have to go 2 times, you can just do it once. Okay, so now if we come back here and refresh, we should have that menu: home, about, and contact. It's not looking pretty now, but we're going to make it look pretty. Then if you come here again, you see that they have this search bar, and by default we also have it. Their own menu here is uppercase, and they have a logo. So let's do that. Go over to style this menu and to add the logo. We have to go to customize or customizer. To do that, you can click on this link, or you can also go through here. Under appearance there is customize, so you can use WordPress customizer. So I'm just going to open on a new tab and work from a new tab. So this is the WordPress customizer. uh, it gives you, like the name is customizer, right? It gives you ability to customize things on your WordPress website. And the reason why I love Ocean WP theme is it's even gives you more power. Let me use the word power of customization. There are some themes, free themes, that don't give you as much power for customization as Ocean WP gives you. And that's one reason I always choose Ocean WP if I want to use a free theme. Okay, so we want to right now change the logo from this Sky Media concept to something that we have created, right? So we're going to come to this section called header and click on it, and then click on this logo, and then click on select logo. If you have pictures in your media library, it will appear here, but we don't have any. So we're going to upload files. You can click this button to upload something from your PC, or you can just drag and drop. I'm going to drag and drop. This is the logo. It's not a fancy one, but it's just a simple logo I have created. I'll drag and drop it here. Okay, so this guy will serve as our favicon. I'm going to show you what that means. And this guy will serve as our logo. Now, this is just a simple logo I created myself. This is not for Sky Media. I'm going to click select. And this option here that tells you to crop, always keep cropping. Don't click on this crop image, just keep cropping. The logo will appear, and when it does, it's gonna look big or small depending on the size, the original size of it. Or you can change that by using these tools we have here. For the max width, let's say we want it to be 165. So there you have it. It's now looking more, nice. Let's say we want to make it 170. Just to be a little bit bigger. Okay, cool. And you can also resize for tablet by clicking on this icon here and clicking on the tablet icon, which is the middle. It looks nice still. Click on the mobile icon. It looks nice still. But if you want to resize even the mobile icon, you can just input a figure here. But I think I'm okay with the size, so I'll just go back and continue with what I was doing. So next thing I want to do is to edit this menu right here. But before I do that, let me add a favicon. That's the other image I uploaded. Now, what is a favicon? Favicon are the little icons that show on the bar of a page that is open. If you look at this, this is customizer tab open for Sky Media, and we have this. This is the default favicon, which is an icon for World Wide Web, right? This is a Gmail, and this is an icon here. This icon here is called favicon. This is the template we want to use, and they have this Ocean WP icon, and this website has its own icon. So want to have our own icon, and the benefit of this is if someone, for example, bookmarks your, or rather shares your link, one of the things that might show up, that should show up, is your favicon. If the person is using a mobile phone and bookmarks your website on their home screen, for example, on their mobile phone, it is your favicon that will show. So let's add a favicon. We exit header and go up to site identity, I believe. Site identity, and then we see select site icon. We click on this, and this is the icon we are going to be using. Select it. Uh-oh, I mistakenly cropped image. Oh my god. Let's change image just because I mistakenly cropped it. Select it and click select, and now we just keep cropping because I don't want to crop it. So you see now it's showing full before it actually cut off some few parts. Now we've not even saved, but if you look up here, you see that we now have that icon there, right? So let's now publish it. Whenever you're done editing anything on Customizer, always hit the publish icon button here rather. So that is done. We've added a logo, we've added our favicon. So let's now edit our menu. To edit the menu, you come over to typography. Click on typography. What we want to edit is the menu. There are a lot of things you could edit here, including the logo if you are using a type logo. If you were not using an image, we're just using that first thing that was here, which was the name of the site, you can actually change the font to a cursive font, make it look nice and all that stuff. But I prefer using an image as a logo. So we want to edit the typography of our menu. So we click on main menu here, and we can do things like the font width. If you want to make it heavier, let's say you want to make it semi-bold, you saw that if you checked, you saw that it got a little thicker. The font style, you can make it italic, but we're just going to leave it as default. Now transform, let's use uppercase for all of them, or you can capitalize, which was the default anyways, but let's use uppercase. So you see automatically we now have an uppercase menu. And then in regards to size, I think I want to increase it a bit, say 14. Okay, I think 14 is cool because we are still going to add other things. Letter spacing, sometimes I like to leave this as at 1. It adds a little more space between the H and then the O and then the M and then the E. It makes it, a little more spacious. If you're familiar with using word processors like Microsoft Word, you should understand what letter spacing is. Okay, so I am done with this right now. For now, I'm just going to hit publish. If you notice, we have a color here, which is a blue color, and it's kind of different from this blue color here. So let us now make this blue color the official color of this website, the official accent color, right? So I think I have that somewhere. So let me just go grab it. To change the color, you have to go to general options here and go to general styling and then the primary color. I've copied the X color code. Every color has an X code. Just paste it here and don't forget to leave this hash. I'm going to make this the same for now. Maybe drag this up to kind of change something a bit. Okay, so I published that. Now if I hover over this, it should look a little bit similar to this guy. But to even give this guy further, to edit this menu even further, what you can do is to go back to the header. And then to the menu, yep, to the menu. You can change some things about the menu, like how it's going to be appearing. I'm going to show you where you can change that later. But I came here for this for the color. The default color is this light kind of gray, not very thick black. If we wanted to change that, we click on this guy. Let's say we want to make it even darker, say 222, so that changed. So you can just click again, and then the hover, if you want it to be red when people hover over it, just click, put your stuff. But our website right now is looking like we are going to just make it blue since the logo has a blue and therefore not red. So let's just add this blue hex code here. Now if you hover, it should be blue. Also, if you don't want the search icon to show, this is the place where you can change that. First of all, you can change the style. Right now it's on drop down, so if someone clicks on this, there'll be a drop down for the person to impute, right? So if I change that to header replace, it will take off, wait for it for a second. Header replace will just take off the whole header. Header is the area that has your logo and the rest. So if you click on this now, it takes off the full menu. so that the person can search what they're looking for. But if you even change that again, the last one, which is the overlay type, it's going to add an overlay. I'm still going to talk about overlays. If I click on this now, it's going to add an overlay to the site, and then someone can type whatever the person is looking for. And if you don't want to have search at all, if your website is a simple one, like my own is a simple one, is not something that someone wants to come and be searching something for, you can just disable. Okay, so I think I will personally disable this because I don't need it right now. So once I disable it, the search icon will disappear. Okay, so that is that. There are a lot of other things you could do here in the customizer, the menu section. A lot of things that can be done. Okay, so you can even position the menu to be in the middle or the left, or let us leave it where it is at the right. You can add effects to the link. If someone hovers over it, if you want, let's just use one for example. Later you can try the rest and see if there's anyone you like. I chose underline from left as links effect. So if I go over right now, okay, this is still taking effect. Okay, done. If I hover over any of them, you see that it underlines, and the underline comes from the left. Okay, comes from the left and goes to the right. I can change that effect from here. That's one of the reasons why I like Ocean WP. There are a lot of things you can do in terms of customization, but we are not going to spend all of our time here. Let's just do what is needed for now. You can play around with it later as you as you wish. Okay, we are told that we have an invalid value here. Xcol is not complete. It should be 6. It was 5. Now we should not see any more error. Secondly, you see that these guys have this top bar here, which is green. Now, for us to create something like that, we're going to go back away from menu and away from header to the main area, and here we see the top bar. If you click on it, and we have three links here: the general, the content, social. So the general is where we can add things like background color. Background color is currently set to white. Let's make it blue, the blue we've been using. Publish this so that it's now blue. The major color here is this green or lemon? I don't know. But ours is gonna be blue. Okay, so they have this email and number on the left, and they have social icons on the right. So let's see what we can do here. We can change our own by having our own content by the right, and so just like theirs over there, right? Social by the right, content by the left. And content is where they added number and email. You can add anything you want in content. So I'm going to leave this the way it is. What other thing do I need to do here? Okay, text color. I want the text color to be white. White is 6 Fs. So FF, FF, FF. So anything I add here now will be white. Mm, including links, yes, including links. If I add a link, I want it to be white too. For hover, if it is blue, we are not going to see anything. So for over, let's make that very light gray. Okay, so if we publish this, we can go back and add the content itself. Now, if we go back and see and go to the content, we are still on in top bar, but now we want to go to the content and see what we can add. We can, the default content here says place your content here, which is what is visible here. So let us change that, and we want to add a phone number. Let's say his number is 08012345678. Publish that. But before we leave here, I think we also have to add the email. We created abelson at skymediaconcepts.com. So if we publish this, we see that we have the phone number and then the email. But our own is not as fine as this one. They have an icon, a phone icon, and they have this envelope icon. So if we want to add icons here, we can. The way to do that is to go to a website called Font Awesome Icons. Okay, this is um, the 4 point the version 4.7. That's what I'm at right now. But they have other. The newer version is 5 version 5. But I think I just want to use this version 4. And what I need is two icons. Number one is the phone icon. Number two is the envelope icon. So I'm going to search for phone. Let me see. Okay, they use this type. So we'll grab this. I'll click on this. This is the phone icon I'm looking for. Now what I need to do here is to copy the link. Look at this, it's telling me that version Font Awesome 4 is so 2017, that I should upgrade to version 5 and get twice the icons. And this is version 5 right here. I'm aware of the version 5, but I just want to use version 4 because sometimes with Ocean WP, I think it is safer to use the older version of version 4. So what I need to do is to copy this link here, copy everything, and paste it just before the phone number here. And we see the icon has appeared, but it's not facing the way I want it to face. Did I pick the wrong icon? Anyways, let me not go fixing that, but you already know how I did this. So the same way I got this is the same way I'm going to get that for envelope. So I go back and make a search for the envelope by clicking or searching for envelope. Okay, so let me use this one. Again, I'll copy this link and paste it just before the email. The icon is not. Let me publish and see what happens. It's not showing the way I want it to show. Let me just refresh this guy. Okay, the phone icon is showing, but the email icon is not showing. What did we do wrong? Oh, let me not waste my time there. Let me just go choose another icon. This is the newer font awesome icons. To use this one, it requires a sign in and all of that stuff. But to use the older one, I don't need to sign in or any of those things. The difference is that there are more icons here. The icons are more updated. So if you want to use it, just come here, click on start, and that will get you started. So you're going to have to give them your email and then follow the prompts or whatever they give you. I'm just going to stick with the other one for now, or you can just go to the icons too. Let me go back to my envelope. Let me open 2 or 3 and see which one works for me. So let me change this and see if anything happens. Okay, this one works. I don't know what happened to the first one, but this one kind of worked. Okay, next we want to add our social media icons. Social media icons that should appear here, just like in this case. So go back to customizer and exit from content and enter social. Scroll down. Let's say we want to add something in Twitter. Then you're just going to copy your Twitter link, twitter.com/, your username or your handle. The same thing with Facebook, facebook.com/, the name of your page or whatever link that you have. The same thing with all of the rest. But because it's just a demo, play, we're just playing around here just to teach you how things are done. I'm not going to be copying any links. I'm just going to type in hash. That works like a placeholder for links. It can also be called dead link in web development. It can be called dead link and it can be called link placeholder. Instagram, what else can we do? Okay, he's a creative. Let's assume he's also on YouTube. So this is YouTube here, and add this. Okay, that's all. We've had them now, but they are not looking fine because they are almost invisible. What? Take a look at all the other social media platforms you could, show on this part of your website. But let's change the color right now to white so they can be more visible. So we say they are now more visible. If someone hovers over them, it should give them a very, very light gray. You see that the change is very subtle, but there's a change. Okay, so that's for the top bar. Now we have, if I come back here and refresh by clicking the menu, you see that we have the logo, we have our menu here, and we have this phone number and email, and also now we have our, what's it called now, the social media icon. So let us go ahead now and build our site. We've already created a home page, so now let's go and work on that. So we are going to go back to the dashboard, to pages, and the home, right? Yep. I'm gonna have to open this on a new tab because I want to edit it with Elementor. Once this guy loads, what I'm going to do is to click edit with Elementor. Alright, so we see we have something blank, nothing here, and we see we have two buttons asking us to click it. One is a plus sign and the other is a file sign. So if you click on this plus sign, then you have to add a section. Every section, let me go back here, close these guys. A page is built with sections, right? So we can call this very first place a section. This place that has this image, and then be alive, be strong, be happy, just be, right? That's a section. And this place with 3 columns and welcome, that's another section. And then this other place with this image and get the chair, that's another section. So understand that these things are sections, and inside sections we have columns. For example, we can tell that this is 2 columns, right? There's column 1 and there's column 2, and this is another section here, and there it works. I think this one makes use of columns here, column 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and this is another section with gallery in it. So, and here is another section. This is column 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 columns. So everything is structured with by section and columns. Okay, so the first thing you choose is a section, and then you can, in choosing a section, you can choose how many columns you want in that section. Although you can later add and remove columns once you've chosen. So we want to create this very first one, and you might choose one section, and that is absolutely fine. But because I noticed that this text here is actually not right aligned, as you can notice, if you notice, it's not right aligned. Okay, it's actually left aligned, but it is hanging right here and not stretched to this other side of the page. Okay, so that tells me that they made use of two columns here. So I'm going to choose 2 columns for this first section. And okay, let me delete this first and show you what this other icon here can do. With this icon here, if you click on it, it says add template. This icon helps you to quickly add templates. Now these templates are not really from, it's not really from the theme, which is OceanWP. They are from the plugin itself, the page builder plugin, which is Elementor. There are a lot of pages you could use. Some are free, some are not free. If you want something quick, you could use any of them by just clicking on it. You can just import it. If I click on this guy and click on insert, this will become my website, and I will edit some things in and out of it. And you could also choose to go to and use blocks instead of pages. Right now it's at pages. If I choose blocks, blocks will show me just sections of a website, not a full page, just sections. For example, this is an FAQ section. Um, what's this? Strategy planning. Okay, this just sections. That's what you find when you click on blocks. You can go through it and see if you like anything. You can just click on it to import. Anyone that has a pro isn't free. Anyone that doesn't have a pro is free. Okay, so the last tab here is my template. That means if you save anything, because once we are done creating a page or a section, you can save it, and once you save it, it will appear here. The benefit of that is once you save something, you can easily use it on another page, or export it entirely and use it on a different website. You can search. You can make use of this search bar here to look for a specific something. Let's say we are trying to still build our website. I do this a lot, and while I'm building my website, I just want the landing page to be there. I can come over here and type something like coming soon. Now we see that we have options, different options for coming soon. I normally use this, but I also use other ones like this one. Okay, so this is coming soon. Let me go to a website where we can show you something. This is forcearena.com, and this is forcearena.com, and what I have here is just a landing page, a coming soon page. So if you want to create something like this, you could just use any of this as a template, right? Okay, so that's for templates. We're not going to be using templates, we're going to be building. So let's click this again and choose this. Okay, now let's pick ideas from this guy because we want to use him. We saw the first thing we see here is that there is a background image, but there is also a text: be alive, be strong, just be happy. And then there is this gibberish here, and then there is a button. Okay, so let's do that. To add a text, I'm going to drag this a little to this side. Okay, that's because I noticed this one is not exactly at the middle. Okay, so that's why I'm pushing it to that side, to the left. Now if I want to add that this text here, I'm going to use this widget. Everything here is called a widget. So I want to add a heading. I click and drag and drop it here inside this column. Remember there are two columns, and I'm working with the column on the left. I click and drag and drop it on the left. Then I could say um, let us unleash our creativity with you. Now the next thing to do when you see that this is just the default styling, the next thing to do is to style it. We want to make it bigger, of course, and maybe change the font or whatever you want to do. You can do that by clicking on this tab here which says style. Click on it and you can change the text color here. So if you want this to be red, you just click on, add a link to make it red. There is, or rather add a hex code. Okay, all colors have hex codes. You can go to hex, what's the name of this website, hexacode.com, something like that, to find the hex code of any color you want. Now if you want to make it bigger, click on typography. Let's say we want to make this to be 70. Okay, I think that's too big. Let's go back here. This guy looks like a 55 or something like that, so let's do 55. Okay, that's more like it. And ours is too strong. If you don't want that to be like that, you can use this weight, click on it and make it as thin as 100 or as bold as, or as thick as 900. But let's keep it within, let's keep it at 400. Now if you want a more stylish font, you can click on this family here and remove it from the default and use anything you want. So let's use Times New Roman. Okay, no, that's not fine. Uh, that's not fine. Let's just use any other thing that we can use. Times New Roman is mostly for print, not for web. And now that's another thing I should mention. There are there are some fonts that are nice to use, but they are not really nice on the web. And there are other fonts that are nice to use, and they are mostly used on the web. On the web, you see fonts like Roboto, like Lato. There are many of them. Let me quickly go to Lato. You can just make a Google search on web-friendly fonts or fonts to use on a website, and you'll find a lot of them. Okay, let me not waste time with fonts. Let me just choose this one. And remember, we're not making this guy to be red, we're actually making him to be white, just like this guy. So let's click on making him white and click on the color again and choose this white. Yeah, it's going to now be invisible. We're not going to see anything because the background is white. So let's change the background. To change the background, you click on this edit section. This J right here is for the section. If you click on it, you'll be able to edit the section. And what we want to do in the section is to come to style. On the style, you can change the background. This is the background type. You can change it to whatever you want. So you can make it a color. You can make it a color. Now we've made it red. Now it's automatically our white text is now showing. You can make it any color you want, absolutely any color you want. But what we want to do is to add an image as our background, and we do that by clicking this guy here. So let's remove this by clicking clear and then click on the image. If you want a background video, you could also do that. I'm going to show you how. I'm just going to upload by dragging and dropping. I think let me just drag everything I need now so I don't always come back here. Okay, that didn't work. Okay. Everything I put here is uploading. When you're uploading pictures, you want to make sure that you have them in kilobytes. So don't upload things that are very, very heavy. Let me use this guy. He's already uploaded, and I want to make him the background image on this section. So I've added a background image here. When you add a background image, there are a few settings you want to do. And the first is the size. Most times I like to leave it in cover. I'm going to show you what that will do. It's going to make sure that it contains as much as possible. Then the position, you can depend on where you want to highlight. Right now it's on default. If I make it center, you see that everything changes. But if you look at this image, you see that the laptop or the keyboard of the laptop is showing at the top and at the left. So if I want that part of the image to show more, I would choose top left. You see that part of the image is now showing more. Okay, so one thing else I would like us to do here is to add some spacing. We saw that there is some spacing here, right? There is spacing here and there is spacing here. There are many ways you can do this anyways. You can do this by dragging and dropping a space uh, on the widgets. There is this guy here called spacer. If you drag him and drop him on the top, and you can say you want him to be, say, 70. So that we have that much space on the top, and we can also add the same space at the bottom. We can duplicate this guy and drag the other one under. Now we have a space up top and up bottom. That's one way to do that. Another way is to add that spacing using margins and padding. Margins and padding. So to do that, we're going to go back to the edit section and click. Once it loads, we click on the advanced tab, and then here the margins and the padding. What I want to play around now with is the padding, not the margin. Padding adds space within inside um, a widget, right? And or section or column, whatever it is you're working with. It could be a widget, it could be a section, it could be a column, but padding will add space inside of it, while margin will add space outside of it. So let's add some space. If I add a space here right now, let's say I want to make it 100. Oh, that's 1,000. 100. You see that we've added space all around. But what that did is that it added space even to the left and to the right. But if you don't want to add space to the left and to the right, click on this guy here to remove the linking, and then you can remove the right and then the left and just leave the ones you want. Okay, so the next thing I want to add here is this paragraph, this text here. You could still use a heading to do that, or you could use a paragraph, whichever one you want. To go to your widget, click on this icon here. You could add that by clicking here or by clicking here. So whichever is cool, but I think I would still use a heading still. I could make this now for those of us who know web development. This heading right here is given the tag of h2, the HTML tag of h2. So if I'm adding this other element here, this other heading, and I don't want it to be an h2 because that won't be nice, you can just make this an h3. It just tells you that this guy here is should be paid more attention to before you get to this guy. But anyways, let me just add this text so I don't start typing. Come over here and paste it here. Okay, now let's style it. The color should be white. Now we should be able to read it. So let's make it bigger, say 30. Or is that too big? Let's do 25. Okay, this is cool. And the weight, let's make it 400. Now if you notice, we are still struggling to read our text, and that's because the image is bright in color and then our text is white. So let's add an overlay. They also have an overlay here. If you notice, there is some kind of dark thing that is on top of the image, right? Let's add something like that here by clicking on the section, going to style. Now under this section of background, if I click on background to minimize it, under this section there is background overlay. So to add an overlay, click on the background overlay. Then we want to add a color as an overlay. Now let's add black as a color. Now you see automatically it brings a dark color just like it is here. Okay, and it now makes our text to pop out more. If I click on this to minimize this edit tab, we can see what we are doing better. It makes it to be the text to be readable. You can increase the darkness of that color here or reduce it. If I want it to be darker still, I can do this, it becomes darker. If I want it to be lighter, I can do this and it becomes lighter. Or let me do 3, let me just do 4. I think I'm cool with 4. I'll leave it at 4. The next thing I would like to add here is a button. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Click on this and drag a button and add to our section. Let us call it click me. call it whatever you want. Style it by going to the style. If you want, there are a lot of things you could do here. The text color is white by default, but you can still click white if you want. The background color, you can change that. We are working with a particular type of blue. Let me see, do I still have that blue on my clipboard? No, I don't have it anymore. Okay, let's just use this color. Let's assume this is our color right now. So I use that as the background. If you want a different background when you hover over it, if you want to a different background when it is, let me see if they have something like that here. Okay, here they have, okay, let's even use this styling. They have a white background by default and a green text by default. And when you hover, the text changes to white and the background changes to green. So let's do something like that. So back here, you're going to change the background from blue to white. And then we're going to make the text change it from white to blue. And then the hover settings, when it is hovered, the text now should become white and the background now should become blue. So let's try and see if that works. Great, it works. You can also make your button bigger or smaller by using this size option, medium, large, and extra large. Let me leave it at medium. But that is not the only place where you can change the sizing of your button. You can come to style and under, where is it? Padding. Remember I told you padding adds space inside of your widget or column or section or whatever it is. So if I leave this as 0, there won't be space at all inside of this widget called button. But if I add something there, let's say I add 20 to apply everywhere the same, except I unlink it by clicking this guy. So you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it at default. I already chose the medium size. I'm going to leave it at default. Now for the typography, for the click me, if you want to edit that click me, you can. By clicking on the typography here, you can change the, say you want it to have a little more space. I want to change the letter space. You can click and change that. You can make the width maybe a little heavier than it is already. And what else can you do? You can do pretty much anything. Um, if you notice here, there seems to be a little more spacing for this guy. So let's click on this text. It's a header widget. You click on it, and in the styling, let's add some height, line height. Let's do 1.3 to give it some spacing, just like it is here. Okay, let's make him even lighter. Even this guy, let's make him lighter. But sometimes you want to make it as bold as possible. It depends on what you want. Okay. All right. Okay. So if I want to preview the work that I've done, I'm going to click on this icon here, and it's going to open a new tab to show me the things I've been working on. So this is what I've been working on, and this is the outcome of it so far. I think I want to add more spacing here and under, just like it is here. There quite some spacing. So let's add that kind of space. Another way to preview is just to close up the panel and to show you what you're doing. Open the panel again to continue editing. And once you're done with any editing, always click on update here. If once this button here is green, that means you have not saved your changes, you have not updated. So now let's add some more spacing on this section. Space inside anyways. So go to advanced. Okay, I don't think we've loaded. Edit section and then advanced. So let's make this say 120 and then 120 and close that. Okay, I think the top one I just want to add a little something to it and make it 150. Click on update my changes. Once I update my changes, because I've already clicked this guy once, it will refresh automatically here. So I can just go to the preview window and see what has happened. Okay, the last thing I think I want to do is to drag this guy to come back a little to somewhere around here. Okay, let me bring him back just a little more. So to be very precise, if I want to be very precise, I'll click on the edit column, right? I'll click on the column. Remember, we are working with two columns in this section. I can click on the edit column and we see that we have 60%. If I make it 70, that will give it more room. That means these guys automatically become 30. So I update that and it should update here. Alright, so that is that. Already you see we have something very similar to this guy. Although I'm not sure that they use 70 here, but you get the idea. You can make it whatever you want to make it. Okay, so that is that. Let's work on the second. Let's work on the second section. But notice something, that when you scroll down, the image stays. The image is um, kind of stays. It doesn't move with the section. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let us add the second section so that we'll be able to scroll. Because right now we can't scroll. Okay, we can scroll. Okay, we can scroll just a bit, and you see that our own image is going up with it. Just one thing, just one settings can just change that. But let's quickly add a second section. This section, I think they have a big primary section and then they have a small, inside this big section I think they have two sections. One is of 1 column section and the second is a 3 column section. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Come under and click plus. We need to add this one, just 1 column section. In this 1 column section, let's add some spacing first before we continue editing. To add spacing, I'm going to use the padding settings to do that. 100 at the top, 100 at the bottom. Alright, so what else do I need to add here? Welcome, a line, and then okay. Alright, let's do that real quick. There's a heading that says welcome. We'll drag a heading and drop here. And let's also say welcome. To make our heading align at the middle, we click on this to make it align center. If you want to change the height and the size, you know what to do. Come over here, typography. Let's say we want to make it 50, and then want to reduce the weight to 300. What else? Okay, they have this line under it, and then this. Let's just copy this. Alright, this welcome, I don't think it is 50. Let's do 45. You can do whatever you want anyways. I'm just going to do 45, but I'm going to do something else. I'm going to add letter spacing. Then they have this line, so let us add that. Go back to our widgets, and this is the divider. It is called the divider. This thing right here, this line in Elementor, it is called the divider. So you drag the divider and bring it here. As you can see, it has come and it is 100% full width. If you close its tab, you see that it goes it takes full width, not really 100%. 100% goes the full screen, but it takes full width. So let us reduce that. Let's say we want only 10% and not 100%, and then the 10% wants to be at the middle. So now we have something similar to this guy. Okay, and the welcome is text is black, just like this guy, and I think theirs is even smaller, say 5. And the welcome text, let's do that. Let's make it black also. You can make this guy any color anyways. You can change the color of this divider by going to style and going to color. If you want to make it the blue you're using, you can make it blue. If you make it thicker, you can make it thicker by increasing the weight. Okay, so you want to make it very thick. Say 5. Can even make it even to be more thicker, but I'm going to leave it at 2. What else do they have here? Okay, they have this text here. This time around, I'm not going to use a header, I'm going to use a paragraph to do that. Drag a paragraph and drop it here. Oh, it's actually called a text editor, not a paragraph. Okay, drop it there. Go to the settings, make it center. It has a lorem ipsum default text. I'm going to leave that there. Let me just reduce it a bit. I think the color is already similar to what is here, but you can change the color if you want. I'm sure you already know how to do that from styling. Alright, what I want to do now is to increase the size to 16, say 16, and also I want to add some letter spacing. Okay, so that is that. I can update my changes and it will refresh here. Okay, now so we have more room to scroll, but let's quickly see what we've done. Welcome, it's already there. We still have to add these 3 columns, right? But before I do that, let me now show you how to do this, how to make the image stay while you are scrolling up. So right now you see that the image scrolls up with the section. Okay, so let's change that. Go back here, go up to this section, click on it, on styling, or style, then this is the image background we're using. Now the settings that make that possible is attachment. Okay, so and this repeats if you use this if you want to repeat the image. We don't want to repeat it, or it's not repeated anyways, but you also always want to leave it at no repeat. And the attachment is actually what we need to make that guy fixed. So I already told you what it is. Default is scroll, but let us use fixed. Now if we save changes and go back here, it is refreshing itself. Now if we scroll down, the image should remain and not scroll with us. You see that? The image is not scrolling, only the section is scrolling, just like it is here. The image stays while the section scrolls. Okay, same thing now we have here. The image stays while the section scrolls. Okay, so now let's quickly add these three columns that we need here. These three columns. Now, Elementor. You may think that we need to add another section and choose these three, right? Scroll down. We think we need to add another section and choose these three. No, we are still working with this section. I'll close this guy. We're still working with this section. We're just going to bring in three columns to it. There's a way to do that from the widgets area. So I click on that. And it's called an inner section. So we're going to click on this inner section, drag it here, and drop it. Let me drag my text up to be above it. Alright, so this inner section is here, and currently it is set at 2 columns. To add a column, we're just going to click on one of the columns, right click. I did right click on one of the columns, I click duplicate. So that gives me 3 columns now. Okay, I have 3 columns now. And if you check, what they have inside each column is an image, a heading, and a paragraph. Image the first, heading the second, paragraph the third. So let's do that. Go to Elementor. Click on this column, click on the plus sign. Then here on this image, click, drag, and drop it on this column. This is a default image placeholder. Before I edit that, let me click and drag in my header. And drop in that same column. Before I edit it, let me just center it. And last of all, let me drag in my paragraph. Use the text editor, drag it in and drop it. Also, I want to center this guy. So I center him, and that is it. Now I can go ahead and change this default placeholder. Go ahead and change all this and make it look just the way I'd like it to look. If I close this panel, you see we have content in one of the 3 columns we have under here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do now is to change the image. So to do that, I'm going to click on this image here and click on this again from here. Then I can change it to anything that I want. uh, let's use this guy. It says design, and let me add this. Let me just write creative designers. So I'm using this to like display some services, or would I call it services now? Change the color, change typography settings. Let's do 25 for size. Weight, let's do 400. I always want to add this for now to make it more readable. Okay, so we have this. What I can do right now is, instead of doing all of these things starting from scratch over again on these two um, columns, what I can do is just to duplicate this column twice and then just change the images and then the text. So I'll do that by clicking here, right clicking rather, click duplicate. All right, click again and click duplicate. Now we have 5 columns, but we don't need all of them, so let's delete this 2 that is empty. Right click and delete. The last one that is empty, right click, delete. So now that I have this, all I have to do is just come change this text, change the text, change the image, and our section would be just ready. Let's just take a look at the preview first. Okay, so we have these 3 images here, and it's looking more like this guy. If you notice, they have this shadow effect on it. This shadow effect is not made with Elementor, it's actually made with a photo editor like Photoshop, and it was brought in here like that. But Elementor still does have its own shadow effect that you can use. Okay, I'm going to show you just how to do that.